Hello and welcome to my presentation where I'll be discussing in depth how consumer behaviour theory is utilised within the marketing environment for Apple. I will be addressing three consumer behaviour theories: learning and memory, motivation, and lifestyle and values. Apple is an American multinational corporation that designs and manufactures consumer electronics, computer software, and personal computers. Jobs once said, "One of the keys to Apple is that we build products that really turn us on." The brand is also recognised worldwide for its innovative marketing strategies for its products. In 2018, Apple made history by becoming the world's first $1 trillion company. Apple can be considered to stand in many different market structures, such as oligopoly and monopolistic competition. Apple maintains oligopoly market structure in the competition of smartphone brands announcements, but Apple is known as monopolistic competition in the branded computers. Now I'm going to talk about how Apple applies theory to their marketing campaigns. Take these series of posters. They all look very similar and are laid out right next to each other. Some may think this is a waste of time and resources, but in fact this taps into the way information is processed into our long-term memory. Using the multi-store model of memory, it suggests that for something to be transferred into our long-term memory, we need to have repeated it. These billboards being placed repeatedly next to each other forces to repeat seeing the poster, and so it will be transferred into our long-term memory. This is supported by research by Grunert, who argues that repetition strengthens memory of products, and Alpert et al., who argues that repetition strengthens product familiarity. Another technique that Apple apply is Skinner's theory of operant conditioning. This approach is originally based on the work of Pavlov and Skinner. The theory put forward was that behaviour changes through a process of learning by responding to experiences, a process which Skinner and Pavlov call conditioning. You have an experience which results in you learning something that will cause a change in your behaviour. This may not be as apparent as this mainly applies to Apple supplying businesses with their products or to third-party retailers, where Apple will apply large discounts to buyers who spend thousands, if not millions, on Apple products every year. This takes place over one-to-one meetings where consultants are required to make a deal between Apple and the businesses supplying and discount rates, which will vary between the clients. What this does is it acts as an incentive for customers, this incentive being the discount, encouraging consumers to repeat the desired behaviour, i.e. to buy again from Apple, as they are aware of the generous discounts. For Apple, their target market is clearly stated as males and females between age 22 to 55. Being an affluent brand, Apple targets medium to high income individuals. Once an Apple user, always an Apple user. These customer groups become very loyal to the brand and hardly change their mind. Other companies such as Samsung are showing higher figures when it comes to unit sales. They are starting to occupy a larger share of the market, but this does not worry Apple. Instead, it continues to focus on its loyal customers, and despite occupying a smaller percentage of the market, it is able to position itself as a premium brand and a maker and provider of top quality products. As such, Samsung was able to eat up a huge chunk of the market because of its production of cheap and low-end gadgets. That market is not really what Apple is aiming for, and it's comfortable with the market it has right now. Apple is all about the experience, and it goes after the emotional branding, which is reflected through their core beliefs about innovation, design, and imagination. All of these three beliefs are strongly reflected and promoted through their products, advertisements, and customer experiences. Apple is positioned as a luxury brand that carries a huge emotional connection and loyalty among its customers. A consumer lifestyle refers to a pattern of consumption that reflects the ways they choose to spend time and money. Consumers choose products, services, and activities that help them define a unique lifestyle. Segmenting consumers based on value and lifestyle help identify a broad range of behaviours such as brand preferences, the adoption of new products, and leadership qualities. VAL's Values and Lifestyle System framework was first developed in 1995 by the Strategic Business Insights Group. It identifies consumer types based on lifestyle and values. Let's look at UK Val's framework and apply it to Apple. Apple mainly targets the activators segment. Activators are at the forefront of innovation and change and are the most open to new ideas, products and services. They have wide-ranging interests and a strong sense of personal identity. Apple consumers are typically activators, as the brand is renowned for being the first to jump on new technological trends, most recently AI. These new innovative trends also tend to be more expensive, so by having a loyal group of activators, this allows Apple to constantly create new products, as they know they have a set market who will invest in the new ideas. Hertzberg's two-factor theory of motivation has been widely applied in the marketing and product innovation. Hertzberg's two-factor theory states that motivators and demotivators work independently from one another. He challenged this misconception that improving or removing the demotivators would increase people's motivation. Marketers need to identify which factors are the motivators and which are the demotivators in a product. For example, in a laptop, the demotivators are the guarantee, Wi-Fi and camera function, and the USB port. They are basic elements which consumers expect from a laptop, so if these elements are not fulfilled, consumers won't buy the product. However, having these elements don't make consumers happy and don't necessarily motivate consumers to buy the product. Therefore, marketers must fulfill the demotivator factors to avoid disappointment or dissatisfaction from the consumers. What marketers need to focus on is the motivating factors, because they are the source of satisfaction and motivation. In this case, improving the motivators element, such as processors, memory, style, or storage capacity, will satisfy consumers. The motivators, therefore, are often used to advertise the product. The Rock and Siri advert named Dominate the Day, posted in 2017, is a Siri-focused advert to The Rock's superhero character, celebrating a whole host of the AI's incredible features. This cinematic advert was a hit on silver screens and small screens worldwide. This advert focuses on the motivators of being the first to utilise AI features and turn the new spec into a necessity for consumers. Let's take a look at how Apple's competitors market their products. Apple's main competition is Samsung. The two brands own the highest market share worldwide for the smartphone market, as shown on the left. Samsung recently released an ad which features the iPhone itself, however not in a positive light. The ad is centred around Samsung's superiority in comparison to the iPhone. This acts as a form of persuasion. The ad is clearly focusing on persuading Apple users to make a change from using Apple to Samsung. This mode of persuasion fits the expectancy value model of persuasion. For example, a consumer may be an Apple user, however, after watching this advert, they may be conflicted as it depicts many strengths that the iPhone does not possess and the Samsung does. And so they weigh up the pros and cons, and they may make the decision to change to Samsung, a choice they may not have made without seeing this advertisement. So let's conclude. Are Apple effective in the way that they use consumer behaviour theory in their marketing activities? It does seem that way, with the Financial Times reporting that Apple has sold a mammoth of 214.9 million devices in 2017 alone. Apple uses a large variety of consumer behaviour theories, and these are not limited to the ones chosen for this presentation. This is probably why Apple is seen as one of the most innovative and influential companies in the world. Apple tactically market their products and services in ways which reach and make an impact on consumers directly through repetition on billboards and through storytelling in their advertisements. They know who their audience is, and through the behavioural learning theory and understanding the consumer's lifestyles, they have managed to understand their audience down to a T. Apple are also very successful at motivating their customers to maintain interest and repeat purchases by adopting Hertzberg's two-factor theory of motivation into their strategies. As Apple are the most popular in the market, Competitors such as Samsung continue to compete and better their products and services by offering similar deals to their customers, such as incorporating AI into their smartphones and Samsung's most recent PowerShare feature on their new Galaxy S10 phone. Thank you for watching.